air, tasting so rare, and it's gone. It's gone. Deeper I breathe, while I'm out of there, reaching out for hands, but there's nothing there. The more that I see, I believe it's gone, gone, till never. Slowly moves the time. The angels in my mind whisper, ease you free. Found my place here, chasing away fears, and they're gone. They're gone. Deeper I breathe, but I'm out of there. I'm reaching out for hands, but there's nothing there, nothing there. The more that I see, I believe it's gone, till never. Deeper I breathe, but I'm out of there. I'm reaching out for hands, but there's nothing there. The more that I see, I believe it's gone, gone, till never.
Traveling to a place like Indonesia is a really unique experience. You've got to go there with the attitude of, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, because I guarantee you on any plans that you make, they're going to change one way or another.
It's like everything and more, you know, like I didn't really know what to expect. It was kind of like an adventure almost, and it's just proven to be like basically the best trip that I've ever had.
Travel light, that's our motto. Okay, so here's the deal. We've got about 400 pounds of stuff, maybe, and we're all really hungover. So I think Reo's still got his froth head on, so he's probably going to be able to tune the chick and hook it up for us. And hopefully she doesn't.
Good idea, son.
Smoke is too bad.
No worries.
We got charged 1 million.
1 million.
1 million.
Rupiah.
Rupiah though, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like $100.
Yeah, nice.
It's just basically someone told me a long time ago that you have to go with the flow, you have to take it easy, whatever it is, it is. If you go with a plan and a set schedule, you're never going to follow it.
It's great doing trips with your friends and meeting up with, you know, who you like to have fun with. Like Ben, Bear, Reo, and I had such a good time on this trip.
This trip came about from us guys hanging out in Bali and seeing a pretty substantial swell on the way. We'd already got some really good conditions in Bali, so we thought we'd might try something new, and we got on a seedy little plane and flew to another island and ended up scoring some of the best waves we've ever got. So it was a pretty sick trip.
Cold feet are just a sign to move. If you're alone in the dark and can't escape, well,
Reo and I have been traveling for the past few months. We started off at my house in California, and we worked our way over to Hatteras for the Triple S event. And then we went back to Hawaii for a couple weeks, and then we headed over to Reunion Island. And after Reunion, we headed to South Africa. We spent some time in Durban, we spent some time in Mozambique, and we also spent some time in Cape Town. That was super fun. And now that we're here, it's great because we kind of saved the best for last. And I'm always excited to come here, and it usually has the best to offer. My name's Alldredge. I'm from Santa Barbara, California, and I ride for Nash Kiteboarding.
crossing on Julie, tell the folks they be proud.
I just like to watch surfing. For some reason it motivates me, and I don't know what it is about it, but I guess it's just because I like to surf a lot, and I try and base my kitesurfing off my surfing and surfing off my kitesurfing. I think Alldredge is the most progressive rider I know. He kills it in any surf, from like ankle high to huge barrels. Like he's the one that everyone wants to be. He's the one that just goes out and rips. So I'd say Ian's one of the top riders in the world besides Ben Wilson.
The guy he's a class act. He's hilarious. He's kind and generous. He'll help you with whatever he can. And the guy goes out in the surf and just does stuff I can't even imagine doing.
Definitely one of the first kids I've seen and was instantly amazed by with what he was doing. He's so innovative and really makes crappy conditions look really fun.
The way that he rides is exactly the way that I want to ride, and exactly the way I want to see the sport go. And it was really, really cool seeing him ride in real life, because he absolutely rips. For me, he is the one guy that's going to be pushing the sport for the next 10 years.
I came down the line, I blew through this section, and I was going pretty fast, and then I don't know what happened, but Reo was going super slow, and I was just going super fast, and I just ran right into him. It was the funniest thing I've seen in a while, and I don't know, no one got hurt, but it was pretty funny to watch if you saw it.
I was actually on the inside and seen it all happen, from a whole different perspective, and it was pretty funny. And they're super lucky that they didn't hurt each other, because Ian definitely took him out. Then their kites got tangled and they got washed through the reef and the whole deal. But it was definitely one of the funniest things I've seen this trip, for sure.
Bear Karry from Santa Barbara, California, ride for Alldredge Kites. Well, there's a big left that barrels over super shallow reef, and I was about to pull into the barrel and I got scared, so I straightened out, and basically the lip just came down right on my head and I got pushed to the bottom. But luckily my kite pulled me through the wave pretty easily, but it just looked kind of gnarly and it kind of scared me a little bit, so I'd consider that like the worst wipeout I had this trip.
He's got such a good attitude, and that's really showed from the start of the trip. Like this is his first trip in some really decent waves, and at the start, like he was sketched out, and it was, like he was just trying to find his comfort zone and whatever. And it was really cool yesterday to see him actually all his hard work that he's put in over the last week, it was really cool to see him get in the barrel, and I know that's all he wanted to do, and he went out there and he done it, man. The kid is going to be, you know, like he's going to do good in the future. He's got a really good style and he is ripping, for sure.
Their style of riding is sick. I've seen him progress super quick lately. It's like every other session he's doing new things, and at least, you know, every session he's trying new things, and I guess, I don't know where he gets all these ideas, but it's super cool to watch him, you know.
My name's Reo Stevens. I'm from the North Shore of Oahu, and I'm sponsored by National Kiteboarding.
It will push you down and stand you up, so don't give up. This is not the end. Be strong, my friend, you will learn to fly. Grow wings and leave this all behind you. And in your heart, you will know.
I don't know, it seemed like the best part of the session all day. The waves, almost everyone was barreling and lining up, and you know, that right there is the moments that you look for on trips.
Reo is, for me, you know, the best rider with straps. He absolutely kills it in the waves. He's so powerful, he has the biggest turns, and the kid charges, you know, like some of the barrels he pulls into and some of the stuff that he's doing is amazing.
He's definitely one of the top guys, you know. Definitely pushing the sport and in the right direction as well. He's also a cool guy to hang around with, and spend time traveling together with him is always fun as well.
Not sure why I'm telling you this, but Charles Jason Wolcott. I formerly lived in Ventura, California for 16 years, and now I'm living in Bali, Indonesia. I love shooting anything that moves fast, and the ocean, and anything that's beautiful. And I don't know, man, I just like being behind the camera. Anyway, yeah, it's just an amazing thing to do. I love surfing, but when I got a kite, I just kind of figured out, like, you can catch twice as many waves. You can do just as fun of turns, and it's fun because I can go shoot surfing in the morning, which pays the bills most of the time, and then, you know, the wind comes up, the surfers are pissed off and want to go home, and I'm like, nah, I'm staying, get a taxi home, I'm going kiteboarding and catch about 100 waves and go home and wake up the next morning and go work again. It's awesome. I love kiting. Yeah, kiting's really starting to look a lot like professional surfing in a way. I mean, I shoot a lot with really innovative guys here in Bali, and also in Ventura with guys like Dane Reynolds, and over here, you know, you got everybody coming through here, Dion, Agis, and all these different guys coming through, and it's really fun to see guys like Ian Alldredge and Ben Wilson, you know, just blowing the tail out, air reverses, and indie grab frontside unstrapped airs, and it's just really looking a lot like surfing. It's really fun for me to actually to shoot now, because it's kind of like watching the same sport but just a different twist on it. It's great.
Ben Wilson, Sunshine Coast, Australia, and I ride for Slingshot Kiteboarding. My worst wipeout this trip was actually not kiteboarding for once, it was surfing. It wasn't a huge day, but it was a pretty solid day, and I got this one wave, and it was actually one of the better waves I caught that morning, and I was in the barrel, and it was quite a little bit crumbly, and I couldn't really see where I was going, and then a bit further down the line, there was somebody right in my road, and he pretty much just threw his board right in my path, and I hit it side on, and fin chopped his board all the way through to the stringer, and I went over the falls, and just got pretty well slammed onto the reef, and yeah, it was a pretty bad wipeout.
Ben Wilson, God, man, that guy, I've been seeing him for years. He's just one of those guys that you always want to work with. He's one of those guys that just rips really hard and super fun to watch kite. I know he's a great surfer, and I was really excited to get the chance to come over here and work with him. It was kind of one of those things that as a kiteboard photographer and a surf photographer, you want to work with a guy who's as good a surfer as Ben is and as good as he is at kiting. You just never know what he's going to do. And you know, it was great fun, and to see how professional he is with his whole persona and the way he carries himself and the way that he promotes Slingshot and the products that he represents. He's a true professional. And you know, what's funny is I really think that these the kids that came over, Reo, Ian, and Bear, especially Bear and Ian, I think it was good to hang out with a guy who's a true professional and get to see kind of what it's like to be a professional athlete. You know, 'cause that's what Ben is.
Done a lot of traveling together to a few phenomenal spots, and he's definitely one of the guys I really look forward to talking with and spending time with, and he just makes trips so much more fun to go on. I mean, it's great when you get really good conditions in the kiting and surfing and work out really well and you score that way, but to make everything else just as fun is a rare thing, and Ben's one of those guys for me I really enjoy hanging out with and sharing a beer with.
Meeting Ben Wilson was really cool. I've always wanted to ride with a top guy like that, and finally coming on this trip and getting to meet him and ride with him, it's amazing. Like, he rips, he's super nice, really friendly. He's just a really genuine guy, and I'm happy to know him. And
met Ben in California about a year ago. It was super cool meeting him then, because he was one of the guys that I've always seen in the magazines and the movies, and I've always looked up to him, and I was super stoked to meet him, and to get a chance to come on a trip with him is you know, I was so stoked, and I got so excited, and you know, to be able to come on a trip like with some of the people that you've always looked up to is, you know, it can be so fun.
Today, for sure, Ian was a standout. He got out there early and he was a wave magnet. He was getting pretty much every good wave that came through, and it was really good to see him actually score this wave, because he's come here a few times before and he's never actually scored it, and I know he had reservations about coming this time, so it was really cool to actually see him get some good waves and see how good this place really gets.
Deeper inside, find the peace that keeps you here. When the problem's weight has broken your feet and the balance for, rise above the silver tier and have the courage that comes with freedom. When the life you lead is a ball and chain, drag behind the king. Life been told to rise above.
Yeah, it's super cool riding here, because there's that left that just kind of bowls in on this little reef, and it kind of breaks in the same spot almost every time, so you know kind of where to line up after a few sessions. And at first you're kind of like, it's kind of intimidating, but yeah, after a few sessions it's kind of like you kind of want to try and go deeper, and it's a cool feeling, because the other day it was pretty big. I guess it was like maxing size for that place, and the tide was a little high, I guess, and I don't know, but getting barreled there is so nice, because the wind direction is perfect. It just, your lines kind of stay like out of the wave, and it just pulls you right out. For some reason it just feels great, you know.
Every surfer knows that epic day of barrels is just so few and far between, and it's even harder for kite surfing. You have the extra element of the wind, and then the wind, you know, actually wrecking the waves and making them more sloppy or just closing down the barrel. So to actually get barreled kite surfing is one of the hardest things that I've ever done, because for all the elements to come together, is a really, really rare day. And on this particular trip, we had a couple of days that were just epic, and everybody got some incredible barrels. And it's just one of the most memorable trips that I've ever been on.
The taste of the end was on her tongue, and it takes this long to remove your thorns.
Man, I came out, I was on the beach, and I'm going out, I'm gonna knock fins off and swim in instantly. I'm gonna have a repeat of yesterday. It's over, it's finished. I launched my kite, I get about 10 feet off the beach, boom, hit a puff of wind, get out to the channel, boom, straight up here, and I'm having to myself. I was just running circles. I had like three barrels, boom, boom, boom in a row. I think 2 of them were in the same set. I've lifted. It was worth the trip. Full summer made. That session was insane. It was so good.
It was pretty sick because Reo was the first one to get out there, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it because where I was there wasn't too much wind and it was dead low tide. And then I seen him getting some waves and I managed to get out there. And as soon as I went past him, he's like, dude, it's so sick. I got like 6 barrels and I got 2 in one set. And I was just frothing out, and my first wave I totally got barrels, so I was pretty stoked. And it was a pretty sick session. Alright, so we're stuck out here on this reef, probably about half a mile from shore. The wind, it was absolutely going off. There was really good barrels, everyone was getting sick waves, and then the wind just totally stopped. So now we're stuck out here with kites and boards and everything, and I don't know what's going to happen, but it's all good because we had such a sick session and it was all worth it. So sick. Hey, I'm loving it right now, but I think we're going to be hating it in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, now one. Here comes the tide.
And now we've got to figure out how to get in.
Whoa!
So we're stuck out here on this reef.
Okay, guys.
Well, we do have a boat right here. Maybe we should roll up our kites and put it in the
boat. Best thing I've seen Reo do on the trip is, it actually didn't involve being on the water. It was how he took command over this catastrophe of cat shredded bladders, man. I don't know what happened, but they stayed at my place of all places, and there's a couple cats, and they decided to, I don't know what they do, what they're sharpening their claws in the kites or whatever it is, but all the boys tried to pump up their kites, and there was 9 kites with shredded bladders, and Reo just, I don't know what he did, man, but he took control, got all the Indo guys into it, patching holes and just getting it together so we could get the job done. It was amazing. It was kind of drill sergeant shit. It was great.
Cat scratch. I think we're going cat hunting tonight. We can kill them all. I think I finally got it. Note to self, duct tape works good. The sail repair tape does hold. And it's a good thing too, because we are in the middle of nowhere and we would be crying otherwise. Cats got to creeping in the night, clawed up our shit. It's kind of unfortunate, but scissors really quick. It's cool because they're doing it for me. I don't even have to do anything. It's perfect.
Our kites are messed up, but it's got nothing to do with the kites. It's got to do with the cats. So these are actually the best kites you can get. So it's the cats.
Okay, having a caddy is so nice, especially Boss. You know, he's like the happiest guy I think down here, and you know, it's cool because you wake up in the morning, eat some breakfast, and they're ready to take you wherever you want to go, and they know where it's good because they've heard all the reports, and you know, by lunchtime your kite's already pumped up on the beach, and there's like no effort into getting your gear ready. It's just like you walk down the beach and you're ready to go, and you know, they're always stoked, and they're always screaming and, you know, with excitement. It's so funny, it's cool.
They repair my kites, they pump up my kites, they do everything for me. I don't even have to do anything. I just have to go to the beach and kite. It's perfect. I love it.
And it's pretty cool actually walking down to the beach and having your kite bar handed to you, and all you've got to do is launch your kite and go out.
Okay, almost ready to call it quits, but he's got my bigger kite, which is perfect for what I need right now. And you know, within 5 minutes, and I don't think I did anything but straighten my lines out. I had my kite re-swapped out, pumped up, and I'm back on the water. It's like a pit stop at a NASCAR event. It's just boom, 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 done, back out. It's hard leaving here after.
Like cooking, like the smell of the stove. I hate washing up, I hate the bathroom mold. I like hanging with my friends, cold, chill and get stoned, and talk about life, I do that till I get old. I don't like slappers, so dudes just fuck about with the system for their own good luck. So many people out there who be just plain stuck, a situation or position, just can't duck and get out. But they'll keep putting food in the mouth and bring the money home to put the clothes on the shelf. So many things in this world I can't help but doubt. With pollution, corruption, the government's power, I'm singing where you want to live life was life to live you. And if you ever had a choice, what the fuck would you do? I see a lot up ahead, are we gonna make it through? I guess we're happy with the old until we try something new.
One of those positions where that happens so often when you're riding along and you see a friend do something really cool, and you're just like, man, if only if I had a camera and took a picture of what I saw, it'd be, it would have been insane. For once, I had a camera in my hand and I saw something really cool, and I just moved straight at it, and it was great. I hope I can share what I saw and the vision stuck in my mind.
Just stop my world from crumbling and ease my heartache. So take out the bark break and start moving toward when you're happy with yourself. Happiness be
Really, really cool perspective for me as a rider, to be able to do this, because you're putting yourself in a spot that you're not normally in, and you get to see, the action firsthand right in your face. It's like your own personal little stadium.
Get down to this, words be my business and help me to stress less about the problems.
The tide was going really low, about as low as it got caught that day, and there's a shelf on the inside. And I remember being on the shoulder and Ben coming up from behind, and the water sucking nearly dry. It was probably just enough water for his fins to clear, and he comes up, stalls right on that point, right on the shelf in the shallowest part. He grabbed the rail and he went down right there. Not have been good, no water, shallow, sharp reef, but just nailed it perfectly, got right in the thick of it all. Waves sucked up over him, went around them, and just nailed it perfectly. Just got barreled, came out.
It can get really heavy at times, because we're really close to each other, and like when you go down in a barrel or you're in a barrel, sometimes it's really hard to see what's going on, and the two kites are right next to each other, and a lot of times like the lines just tangle up before you even know what's happened. And we had a couple of times yesterday where shit went really wrong, and it gets pretty chaotic, that you're right in the impact zone, your kite's down and your board's tangled up, and you've got a camera and the set's coming. There's just so much going on, and I think that's what really adds to the intensity of tracking, especially in waves like that. A whole different perspective and way that you look at the waves, because you're not ever usually in that position, and I get stoked on doing it, and You know, like it's a really good time, and it's just another thing that you share, you know, with your friends that you're on this trip with.
I just couldn't believe that I'd ever get a chance to come on a trip like this, and coming on it was amazing, and I'm stoked. Fuck, we should probably do that one again, dude. Fuck, flies and shit.
Cause I got nothing left to give, but I'm gonna leave it all behind. But I'm gonna leave it all behind. But I'm gonna leave it all behind. When it all comes down, when it all comes down, I'll be the last man standing.
Probably one of my best moments and one of Reo's worst moments. He was kind of on the inside, and his kite was down. You could tell he was just shouldn't say that.
basically you've got to go there with the attitude of, you know, whatever's going to happen, and it's totally out of your control, you know. If you are, I guess I was pretty set. It's just awesome coming in from a session, a really good session, and Dad's just so pumped up and fired up about how good the session was, and he's like, oh my God, you know, I just got the best barrels, you know, like this trip. He's like, I got a barrel of Reo, then straight after it Ian got a barrel, and then straight after it you got a barrel, and he, you know, like he gets just as stoked as what I get, you know, when we get really good stuff, and it's just a great thing, and I just feel so lucky to be able to share, you know, what I'm doing with him.
Well, Benny, that looks like it wraps it up for another year. It's been a great year, as always. I always feel a little bit sad. Anyway, thanks, mate. It's been sensational. And let's hope there's many more of them.